I promised that I would try to find a way to eat these. I have an idea. Coffee. And I know it's, you know, a little late or whatever, but I love coffee. And hear me out. Here's the idea. Pumpkin spice, candy corn. Pumpkin spice, candy corn. I think the secret is in the coffee. Yeah. I may be on to $1 million idea right here. Can you imagine if this is killer? How fast I'm gonna go to Starbucks and sell this? Oh, buddy. Oh, yeah, I have a good feeling about this. I have a very good feeling. Okay, it still smells like black coffee. Oh, there. Oh. All right. Oh, okay. Oh my God, it's horrible. It didn't work. I'm seriously crying. God, don't try that. This did not work. I gotta throw this away, and you know what? We're just gonna move on to the movies. Thank you so much for coming back and joining us again on our second week of our spooky season movie marathon. And our first week of movies was a rousing success, let me tell you. It was beautiful. We had ups, we had downs, we had schlock, we had real. And when I started this week, man, sky was the limit. And then something happened for this second week of movies. I'm trying not to sound too pessimistic. Weird. Let's call this week of watching weird, shall we? And we started the week with a movie that I had been excited to watch for years now. A movie that I was sure was gonna be one of the best viewings of the month. And that movie is Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Hello, Lana. How are you feeling?
Now, Beyond the Black Rainbow was directed by one of my favorite directors, Panos Cosmatos. He directed a little movie that I am in love with, and it was my favorite film of 2018, Mandy.
So what you gonna do with that, man?
I'm going hunting.
So what you hunting?
It's crazy evil.
I had always heard about this first film of his, and I hadn't watched it yet for some reason. I didn't immediately dive into the rest of his work, and so, like I said, I was really, really looking forward to checking this out. The plot of Beyond the Black Rainbow is about a special little girl with powers who is essentially experimented upon and caged by a crazy man. And then she escapes.
And you don't know who you are or what you are.
immediately, this film, as soon as you start it, is incredibly gorgeous. The cinematography is breathtaking, honestly, right off the bat. The colors and shadows are lush and vibrant, and yet somehow he has this grit and grain that just crawls along the film. It's a visually stunning piece. It never feels like there is a wasted visual second. I mean, every single frame is handled with the utmost care. But, and I hate to say but here, then the cracks in his Kubrickian armor start to show. Because how many times can you cut back to a emotionless, immobile lead character who doesn't speak? And when you have a lead character like that, your villain has to talk a lot, and he has to preach, and he has to monologue, and you have to do things like show him getting ready in his bad guy suit for 20 minutes. Nothing happens in the movie is the major problem with this. You can't just throw characters into your movie just so they can get stabbed in the throat, so something happens. And there's no real connection, either good or bad, to anyone in this movie, which you just can't have. Cinematic dick measuring contest is what comes to mind. And it proves that all the technical prowess and expressive ingenuity mean nothing when you don't have an interesting story or interesting characters. At the end of the day, all your beautiful framing and all your gorgeous color mean nothing. Oh, listen, I'll just end the review by saying this. Beyond the Black Rainbow just proves how good Mandy really is, and how much of a leap Panos has taken, and how much he's grown. This was the biggest disappointment of the entire month so far. It's a bummer. I gave it 5.5 out of 10. Skip it.
You're done so good.
You can't win them all, you know? But, on to our next movie. I See You.
Justin Witter, 10 years old. Went missing on a bike ride last night near Troubadour Park. Park ranger found the bike. No boy.
I See You is about a family who is going through some things, who suddenly have strange things happening in their house. And this one, I'm gonna try and keep away from spoilers as much as possible because it is quite a little movie.
There's something up here!
You're gonna find him.
Okay, this is a great, intriguing opening. Cinematography-wise, there's great drone footage. It's the first time drone footage has felt really, really fresh. Like they don't use the same stock things you've seen over and over again. The ensemble cast in this is awesome, but special recognition for my girl Helen Hunt. Oh, she's amazing in this. She's so raw. She plays a mother who at first glance is ignored and she's probably abused, and you feel for her. But as is the case with every single character in this movie, something is revealed that makes you sit up straight. Like, I'm sorry? The way you judge and define each character in the beginning of this movie changes like night to day at the end.
I'm sorry.
And it's a genuinely creepy movie, which only gets worse as the facade of what the movie is falls, and it's revealed that this is a... I mean, it's legitimately one of the most clever and ingenious switcheroo twist horror movies I've ever seen. M. Night, you want to get back in the game, you should watch this movie real quick, because this is how you dole out the twists and turns that'll make people's heads snap.
Mom?
I mean, it's another quality, atmospheric, independent horror movie. It's got consistent direction, and the visuals never, ever fail the crown jewel of this movie, which is the script. And the script is a masterclass in screenwriting. No lie. The way this thing doles out information when needed is so slick. They consistently shocked me with the same scene just told from different perspectives.
Just give me a jingle if you have any problems with it, and have a good day.
Thank you. I'm sorry, who let you in?
A kid of yours, very polite. You trained her well.
Who?
Yeah, John.
And you will not see the twists of this story coming. You will not know how to feel in the best way.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
If you did something, you can tell me.
What are you talking about?
It's a film that keeps you on your toes without having to resort to cheap tricks or lowest common denominator bullshit. Plus, Helen Hunt. Come on. No, I highly, highly, highly recommend this. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. This, directly after the biggest disappointment of the month, was the biggest surprise of the month. Go watch it. You're gonna love it.
You don't get to act like nothing happened.
Sorry.
You have any idea what's coming for you?
I don't know what's happening. I'm sorry.
Ooh, I can't wait for the comments about that one. Next up, The Video Dead.
The Video Dead, a new form and shape for zombie terror that invades a neighborhood and threatens the innocent, the unsuspecting, and the unbelieving.
Oh, the plot of The Video Dead. Well, this is about a TV that, when you plug it in, makes the zombie movie that it's playing come to life. Lo and behold, you got zombies in your living room.
Is a black and white TV with the power to turn itself on and come alive with the dead. The Video Dead. But
Asterisk. Schlock. Okay? This one, oh boy. The Walking Dead, it ain't. You know what I mean? That being said, the title sequence is just awesome. So pretty quickly, you figure out that the director is way too self-indulgent, and any time, which is rare, he gets a cool shot, he just has to hold on it until it is insanely awkward. Oh my god, it's so unaware of its own cheesy nature. It's got streets called Shady Lanes. It's got the worst zombie makeup you have ever seen. Every character is a cartoon character with asinine acting. The main actress, I swear to God, it seems like she's reading her lines for the first time on camera.
Then will this all be over? Will they really be dead? Oh, God. Just promise me you'll be careful. Promise me you'll come back. That has got to be the most far-fetched story I've heard in my entire life.
I mean, it throws off Troll 2 vibes so hard.
They're eating her! And then they're going to eat me! Oh my God!
It's just crazy. I mean, this is the kind of movie where production design is some poor assistant dropping leaves just above camera into frame. The movie has a soundtrack that forgot to take its ADD medication, and I'm pretty sure Denison's Chili paid for the entire film. Denison's Chili. A quality product, but
I hope you enjoy this. It's a recipe that's been in my family for generations.
well, what the hell can I say? I mean, this movie is officially just trying to have fun. I mean, there is an entire family of zombies, all with distinct personalities, who have apparently one hell of a sense of humor, too. Bottom line on this movie, it's just so much fun. You cannot hate it. You can't. It's too fun. I mean, listen. Flock of Seagulls Zombie. Done. I gave it an 8 out of 10. And you remember, that is a schlock rating. So don't yell at me if you watch it and go, Forget your brain. Have a blast.
Nothing can save you. Nothing can stop the onslaught of the video dead.
Oh, the video dead. Oh, you want me to go to the next movie? Oh, well, here's where we encounter some dark times, my friend. But strap in, because our first H-titled Halloween failure is a little movie called Howl.
We're just a train full of bear bait.
It wasn't a bear. Bears don't howl.
Plot of Howl is real simple. Bunch of people on a train during a full moon, and wouldn't you know it, a bunch of werewolves attack.
This is the driver. Seems we hit something on the line. We should be on our way shortly.
Oh boy, this movie is just... it's crazy. And not like crazy scary or crazy good. It's just crazy. I mean, 1 minute you're up, 1 minute you're down, 1 minute you're cheering on the ensemble, and the next you literally want every single character to die immediately. It makes you feel a little nuts. The movie starts with our lead character, and oh boy, at first you want to empathize. And then by the middle of this movie, you understand that he is the most pathetic character ever. I even joked in the screening of the movie, hey, do you think our lead will be a hero? He has no arc. He barely does a thing the whole time. The real problem of this movie is two things: the characters and the script. The script makes these characters legitimately the most unlikable group of individuals. maybe I think I've ever seen in a movie. This script is so invested in the contrived, useless drama between these characters that it forgets there's a family of insane werewolves right outside the train. Speaking of the werewolves, they are the best part of this movie. They are shockingly cool. Like, they're filmed really well. A lot of it is in shadow. A lot of it has the reflection eyes from the forests. But then when these things come up close, whoo, it is awesome. It's like a Marvel-ized version of a werewolf. It looks like Thor crossed with an American Werewolf in London. But as cool as those werewolves are, and as an amazing a practical / CGI effect it is, the director is just addicted with staying on these human characters. And there is so many flaws in basic logic. Like, suddenly there's a weapons cache in the third act in the train. Well, why didn't they go to get those in the first 2 acts when there were werewolves outside? Characters turn on each other for no reason. Inconsistencies all over the place. And the director just doesn't seem to notice or care.
Help me!
So, yeah, it ends up being a movie about blood and gore and overindulgent lens flares and a budget that consisted of pretty much all werewolf suits. And that a movie does not make. I didn't like this movie one bit. I gave it a 5 out of 10. Skip it. Go watch Happy British People, not these sad Cockney bastards. Which, by the way, I know all the actors were British, but I'm pretty sure some of them had the worst British accents I've ever heard. It was like Dick Van Dyke all over again.
Comical poem, suitable for the occasion, extemporized and thought up before your very eyes. All right, here we go.
Oi, Governor, what are you talking about? What you mean it's a werewolf outside? Is that, are you sure? You sure? Right outside? Right, I tell you that it is. But it's like a Monty Python sketch. I hated it. Next. All right. On to the next movie. It's called Haunt.
This cannot be ignored.
Yes, we're doing it.
It's the end. Say goodbye.
Is this supposed to be scary?
The plot of Haunt is dumb. It's about a couple teens who go to a haunted house that's filled with freaks who end up actually murdering people. So right away, there's some cringe lines that are just awful. And the characters are, within minutes, completely contrived horror trope characters. And wouldn't you know it, the actors suck at playing those contrived characters. And then those characters do things and behave 'cause movie. They do things for no discernible reason. They do it 'cause movie. So we're off to a bad start.
So what if we just went a little bit further? No, dude. No, listen, I don't mean all of us. You know, just you and me. We go a little bit further, and you know, we find something like a crowbar, you know, so we can Break off the hinges. Okay, fuck, go.
Let's just cut to the chase here. The problem with this movie is that it's just not scary. It is so contrived and unoriginal that it just feels bloated. And when they try to be scary, they completely rely on gore and gore alone. And yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks nice, you know? But I mean, you can't live off gore alone. This is a movie that should not take itself seriously at all. And it does.
I just want to get out of here.
We just want to leave.
And there's a stupid villain thing involving, you know, their faces that are have body modifications, or they've been mutilated or deformed, and that their real faces are scarier than the masks they wear. Ooh, I don't know if that's some statement, but it doesn't take, and it's really stupid. And I swear, if I had body modifications or piercings or any of that stuff, I'd be offended. Honestly.
What? Do you still want to see my face?
And here's the thing. I should have known it was trouble. Because guess who produced it? Mr. Eli Roth. Mr. Bro Horror. Mr. I don't really know what's scary, so I guess here's a bunch of bodies being dismembered. Yeah, that guy.
I have no idea what that is.
You know, Eli, just to let you know, body horror and torture porn only work if you actually give a shit about your characters. So yeah, I should have known I was getting into some trouble with this one. It sucks, and it's boring, and I gave it a 4 out of 10, and I beg of you to not watch it. So frustrating. So that was our second H movie that disappointed me. Are you ready for our third? I don't think you are, because it's Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses.
Howdy, folks. You like blood, violence, freaks of nature?
On a stormy Halloween night, 4 young people set out across the back roads of America
What's that? It's a hitchhiker.
What, should we stop?
We can't leave her out here in the rain.
in search of a mysterious figure known only as
Dr. Satan.
The plot of House of a Thousand Corpses. What?
Dr. Satan! Ah, Dr. Satan!
what they uncovered
You ain't seen nothing yet.
is the most horrifying and shocking tale of carnage ever seen.
Oh boy, here we go. Are you ready for this one? That opening scene, huh? It pretty much sets the standard for what you're about to endure, doesn't it?
All right, Tippy, hand over the cash box and I might leave your brains inside your skull.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ski King. Why don't you just take your mama home some chicken, and then I won't have to stuff my boot all up in your ass.
I don't like chicken.
Here I stand. Honest to God, my first Rob Zombie movie I've ever seen, and I've heard great things about this. And I'm 5 minutes in, and I cannot tell you how the hell this guy has a career at all.
You be quiet. You're gonna wake up Grandma!
And the script is appropriately terrible. He has a preoccupation with trying to be cool, over actual character. Every aspect of this film is amateurish, overindulgent, and ridiculous. The shaky cam, the oversaturated grain, the snap zooms, the missing persons report cutaways, the news footage, the black and white, the 16mm, the 8mm. Boy, isn't all this stuff real edgy and cool and stylistic? It's faux aesthetic. He is addicted to kitsch over story.
The next day, his body was found to be missing. Until today, no trace of Dr. Satan has ever been discovered.
This is a movie made by a man who is so disconnected with his skill set, it borders on delusion. I've made a couple metal records. I've seen a horror movie. I can make one. It's like a high schooler made this.
It's embarrassing.
Why is Chris Hardwick so awful and annoying? This is like a horror movie for people who don't even like horror. The dude can't even time a jump scare right. Why is Chris Hardwick fat? And then he hires his wife, Sherry Moon Zombie. She is atrocious, with her butt cleavage hanging out, ridiculous cackle. Now he's ripping off Hellraiser too? Come on, man!
I have no idea what's going on. This is how I live my life.
God have mercy.
Everything is so cheap that it makes you feel cheap. And I've been thinking of a different way to try and put this for the last couple days, honestly. And there is no other way to put it. This is the cinematic equivalent of white trash.
Tell you a little story.
Eat your mom's pussy!
It made me feel like white trash. No lie. It was gross, and not in the Texas Chainsaw good kind of gross way.
Fuck your mama!
And if that wasn't enough, Mr. Robert Zombie decides to end his little film with the absolute worst remix of Brick House human ears have ever heard.
Oh yeah. Ah, yeah.
I hated this movie with every fiber of my being. Gave it a 2 out of 10. Skip it. Don't watch it. Avoid it at all costs. But if you do come across this movie, do me a favor. Will you spit on it for me?
House of 1,000 Corpses.
Hope you like what you see!
3 days straight. 3 days of that shit. I wanted to give up, man. I wanted to give up then and there. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I can't take the disappointment. I had to bring in a ringer, guys. There was no other option. Are you kidding me? I had to cleanse my palate. I had to feel good about this movie marathon again. Oh my lord. I had to bring in a ringer. And it's a hell of a ringer. It's Eyes Without a Face.
Here is a strange and fascinating motion picture that the London Observer compared with the ghastly elegance that often suggests Tennessee Williams in one of his more abnormal moves. A mature horror film that the Paris critics called worthy of the great horror classics of our time.
The plot of Eyes Without a Face centers around a young girl named Catherine, who lost her face in a horrible accident caused by her father. Now, to remedy this, her father, a surgeon, stalks the night, kidnaps women, and attempts to transplant their faces onto his daughters.
starring Pierre Brasseur as the depraved scientist who used beautiful women in the most frightening way imaginable. Alida Valli as the accomplice who procured the young girls he needed so desperately. Juliette Manuel as the innocent victim of a madman's perversity.
The soundtrack is this odd, carnival-like melody, which further on in the film transforms into Catherine's theme, which is this elegant, soft, sad piano theme. There's wonderful framing and cinematography throughout the entire film, the way the shadows are used. The imagery in this movie is unforgettable. Whether it's beautiful or horrible, it's gonna stick with you.
Le reflet de ses yeux. De son visage.
The cast is great, but the actress bringing Catherine to life is exceptional. Her empathy oozes out of her eyes and her body language. When she's first seen, she's scary. It is scary to look upon her. It's unnerving to see the lifeless features in her face. But within minutes, her performance is so commanding. The mask disappears and it transforms in your mind into something soft and frail and beautiful. She is ethereal, just floating through scenes like some terrible angel, sad and fragile. It's immediately engaging. You know, if you thought this was going to be a soft, old-timey horror movie, boy, are you mistaken. This thing came out in 1960, and the gore in this movie is nothing short of, shocking. It is so far ahead of its time. This movie came out in 1960, the same year as Psycho, where American audiences were shocked to see a toilet and chocolate syrup as blood in a shower. I mean, that freaked everybody out. In this movie, they have a complete facial transplant. This character takes off someone's face in cold, painstaking detail. And it's awful. You can't look away. You want to look away. The director forces you to stare. And it's just wow, I can't believe they got away with this during this time. You can tell that director after director after director has said, I gotta take from this well. The atmosphere, the mood, the gothic intensity, the gore, the blood, the sense of fragility and violence. It is an atmosphere that is not rivaled by many movies. It's romantic and sad. It's a coming-of-age tale told by Edgar Allan Poe. It's a family drama drenched in gore. It's so many things. But the real takeaway is Catherine is this caged bird waiting to fly, and you just want to open her cage the entire movie. Because even with her pain, she deserves to be free, and you want that for her. And how this character is not a female icon of horror, I will never know. She's incredible. She's one of my favorite protagonists in a horror movie I think I've ever seen. So go find this movie, check it out, watch it. Tell me what you think. It's incredible, and I adored it. It's repulsive, yet totally enthralling. So I cannot recommend it enough. I hope you will love it. I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Motion picture as fascinating as it is fantastic, as unusual as it is shocking, as frightening as anything you will ever see on a motion picture screen.
Oh, well, there you go. I don't know what to say about this week. I think weird is what we'll stick with. It was quite a slog in the middle, man. I could not believe how rough it was getting towards the end. But thank you for a little thing called the Criterion Collection and a ringer in the form of Eyes Without a Face. If you couldn't tell, my recommendation for this week is Eyes Without a Face. No doubt, no contest. It wins. It is amazing. It is quite an experience. If you have any suggestions, maybe you can save me from myself, because maybe I don't know how to pick movies at this point. So suggest some stuff. Make sure to comment down below. Maybe you thought House of a Thousand Corpses was amazing. I don't know. Yell at me in the comments. Let me know. And make sure to subscribe to our channel, because we are going to be coming at you with another episode next week. We're going to keep this Halloween train a-rolling. And also, just to let you know, I'm going to have where you can watch all these movies down in the description below. So check that out, just in case you're curious. Week 3. Ooh, I'm a little nervous. God, I hope it's good. We'll see you next week.